Dean Kelthera had overseen the Galactic Military Academy for 3 centuries, watching countless species push themselves to their limits and beyond. The crystalline Centaurian prided herself on knowing exactly when each cadet would break. Humans, according to her extensive files, were particularly fragile when it came to psychological pressure. The human will not last the first week, she informed Professor Vixlon as they observed the latest batch of cadets entering the Academy's notorious Hell Week simulation. Their species lacks the mental fortitude of proper warrior races. They evolved as social creatures, dependent on group dynamics rather than individual resilience. Professor Vixlon, a veteran Arcturian instructor, studied the lone human among the 57 cadets. Rebecca Torres stood at average height for her species, unremarkable in every physical aspect compared to the towering Draconians, armored Rigelians, and swift vegans surrounding her. Perhaps we should adjust the parameters? The human embassy specifically requested. Absolutely not. Dean Kelthera's crystalline form pulsed with determination. If they wish to join our ranks, they must meet our standards. No exceptions. The Hell Week simulation began with complete sensory deprivation. Cadets were placed in isolation chambers designed to break down psychological barriers through calculated stress. Most species lasted between 18 to 36 hours before requesting extraction. The record holder, a Centaurian warrior monk, had endured 47 hours before his meditation techniques finally failed. Hour 12, the first casualties began. 2 vegan cadets, their telepathic abilities overwhelmed by the artificial silence, were extracted in states of mental shock. Hour 24. A draconian berserker, bred for combat fury, started hallucinating and was removed for medical evaluation. Hour 36. The Rigelian squad leader, whose species survived in asteroid fields, began showing signs of complete psychological breakdown. Hour 48. Only 7 cadets remained. Rebecca Torres sat motionless in her chamber, vitals steady, showing no signs of distress. Dean Kelthera studied the readings with growing confusion. Run a diagnostic on chamber 47. The human's readings must be malfunctioning. Diagnostics show normal function, Dean, came the reply. Subject appears to be sleeping. Sleeping? Under maximum psychological pressure. Hour 72. 3 cadets left. The Centaurian noble had lasted this long through meditation crystals. The Arcturian utilized advanced mental partitioning techniques. And Rebecca Torres continued to show baseline vital signs as if she were lounging at home. Hour 96. The Centaurian noble finally broke, screaming about the endless void consuming his light essence. The Arcturian lasted 2 more hours before his partitioned mind began fragmenting. Rebecca Torres remained. Hour 120. Dean Kelthera herself entered the observation chamber, staring at the monitors in disbelief. The human had now broken every record in Academy history by nearly 3-fold. Her heart rate remained steady. Her brain patterns showed she was cycling between light sleep and alert awareness. Computer, the Dean commanded, increase pressure parameters to emergency maximums. The chamber's psychological assault intensified to levels that would drive most beings permanently insane. Rebecca's vital signs didn't change. Hour 144. Professor Vixlon finally spoke up. Dean, perhaps we should consider that our assessment of human psychology might be incomplete. At hour 156, Dean Kelthera made the unprecedented decision to end the simulation early. She personally entered Rebecca's chamber, expecting to find a catatonic wreck. Instead, she found the human doing push-ups. "Oh, hey there," Rebecca said, barely breathing hard. "Is the exercise over? I was wondering when you'd check in." Dean Kelthera's crystalline structure flickered with confused patterns. "How? Your species is documented as emotionally fragile, dependent on social interaction, unable to withstand isolation." Rebecca stood and stretched casually. "Did your research happen to mention where humans come from?" She smiled at the alien's confusion. "We evolved on a planet that spent millions of years trying to kill us. Psychological pressure? Dean, I once spent 3 weeks alone in a cave system after an earthquake, surviving on moss and whatever insects I could catch, while listening to rocks shift and wondering if the next sound would be my tomb collapsing. She gestured around the chamber. This was actually pretty relaxing. Quiet, temperature controlled, no immediate threat of death. I got some really good meditation time in. Dean Kelthera's worldview shattered like her crystalline ancestors under solar flares. She had spent 3 centuries believing that pressure revealed weakness. She was beginning to understand that for humans, pressure revealed something far more dangerous. Adaptability forged in the crucible of a world that never stopped testing them. Computer, she said weakly. Update human psychological profiles. Classification. Unknown parameters. Recommend extreme caution in assessment protocols. Rebecca Torres had just rewritten the Academy's understanding of mental resilience without breaking a sweat or blinking once.